we're going to go ahead and go to public forum. We have 7 people who have signed up to speak in public forum from the records I have in front of me. Public forum is 15 minutes long, so that's going to give you roughly 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I'll do my best to keep everyone on track. Please work with me when I give you a signal that says, 1 minute and then 30 seconds, and that's it for you. Please try to honor that. That just means wrap up your sentence, and we'll go from there. We are unable, due to council rules, to talk back and forth with you or answer questions. We're just here to listen so that you all know that's what we're doing tonight, okay? Thank you. So the first person to come to the podium, if you would be Barry Thalden. Hey, Barry.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor and council members. My name is Barry Thalden. My wife, Catherine, and I have been responsible for a great deal of the art in Ashland, including the 3 largest pieces, the mural at the food bank, the mural of Guanajuato in the Guanajuato Plaza, and also the Thalden Pavilion next to the Science Center on SOU's campus. I'm here to speak for art. There's this opportunity to have a new sculpture in Ashland, and I'm surprised it hasn't been on the agenda for the City Council yet, considering it was passed by the Art Commission unanimously in June, and it's now August. So I'm encouraging you to do that, and I'm also want to express our support for that project. A couple of things I want to mention. First, as we all know, art drives Ashland. All of the arts, whether it's theater, music, sculpture, painting, it underlies our economy, our restaurants, our hotels, and art is extremely important. The second thing that I want to mention is that art is a beautiful way to create nonviolent resolution to very challenging issues that that can dissipate anger, upset of a lot of people. And this is just a great way to deal with it. And third, I just want to say that art is something that's really important to all of us. It's something that certainly I know everybody on the council appreciates. And so I would just encourage you to get it on the agenda. I know there's been some controversy over this art, but you have a process. Your process is to let the Art Commission decide about which art is appropriate for the city, and you could not have better members of that commission that you could find anywhere, as Stephanie could verify. So I just want to appreciate the opportunity to be able to express my feelings to you, and hope you get it on the agenda and vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thalden. Lola Mayhanes, and following Lola is Cassie Priskenis.
Hi, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Council. I'm a young Ashland resident and a voter this year. To me, the Say Their Names Memorial is really important to me. I've seen the type of racism and exclusion present in Ashland since I was 6 years old, and we moved here, and everybody thought that my dad worked for Shakespeare, because obviously, why would a black man move to Ashland? We talk a big talk about valuing diversity and being an inclusive community, but we were a sundown town, and I hardly see anybody acknowledge that ever. A physical representation of love and support for the black community in Ashland would be so important and meaningful for so many people, me included, and I think that a black artist deserves to be properly compensated for a design as breathtakingly gorgeous as the Say Their Names Memorial. And I think that the city of the city of Ashland should be the ones to do it. There's still a long way to go for our community in terms of inclusion and racial justice, and I think the city financially supporting this is a wonderful first step. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, Cassie Priskenis, and you can, I think, did you bring your 2 kids with you? Would you like them to come up with you at this time? Because they're also listed as people to speak, so it's okay if you all come together.
Thank you for having me. I'm Cassie Preskenis, a resident of 30 years and currently serving on the Public Arts Commission. I have a lot to say, so I'll try to get through it really fast. First, I'm here to celebrate that a group of citizens who make up the Say Their Names Collective, a group of Black-bodied organizers, have been committed to presenting our community with a permanent Say Their Names installation. They went through extensive processes with regular and open communication with the Public Arts Commission and Ashland Parks and Rec Commission to ensure that the art they brought forth would fit the criteria of our city. As you know, the whole community was invited to vote over the course of a month on the original 4 proposals, each by a local Black artist. The final 2 went on to a selection panel of Black residents who determined the permanent installation proposal would be ancestors' future crystallizing our call. This sculpture has since been reviewed and recommended for approval to the City Council by the Ashland Parks and Rec and Public Arts Commissions. In addition, the Public Arts Commission recommended to the Council that they consider allocating public funds to cover the site prep and installation. This would be our city's way of showing their solidarity to Black lives in response to the community's call for action. The second reason I am here is to name that racism exists here in Ashland. Amanda Gorman wrote, "We prayed for a miracle, what we got was a mirror." I believe this artwork is our mirror. It invites us to unpack our biases, discuss our fears, and confront our collective trauma together as neighbors. I have grappled with how to verbalize this so it can be heard as an invitation rather than an accusation. To quote the wise author James Baldwin, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced." The burden of confronting racism and white fragility should not fall onto the shoulders of our neighbors of color. This is why the city should sponsor some portion of this artwork rather than simply accept it as a gift. Here in Ashland, this inspiring Black-led project is receiving an unwelcome reception masked in institutional policy. An outspoken few are using their voices to oppose the art and are insisting that the Public Arts Commission bring it back to the table this Friday for reconsideration with the assertion that the city cannot allocate funds for any part of the project due to the exclusion of non-Black voices in the final art selection. They're suggesting that the Public Arts Commission recommends to fund that the recommendation from the Public Arts Commission is revoked unless the Public Arts Commission recruits a more diverse selection panel. I hope that people see why it's necessary that this artwork was selected with care by a committee of people whose culture and lived experience are represented in this piece. It is entirely within the City Council's power to allocate public arts funds where they see fit based on the recommendation of the Public Arts Commission if the artwork meets the city's standard. Not to mention that this project beautifully aligns within the Council's Social and Racial Justice Resolution, Section 2.H. Reading how many folks are uncomfortable with the darkness of an art piece embodying a masculine Black person and memorializing nearly 200 Black lives shines light on why our city needs to have a stake in this artwork. Here are a few quotes from posts on social media about the art. It is, quote, "dark and sinister," quote, "dark, devil, and foreboding," and, quote, "the same thing in white or any color wouldn't be so dark and sad." Once again, we are telling those who are marginalized that if they do all the work, respond to the community's call and the city's resolution, recruit the team, the artist, the panel, inform the residents via interviews, emails, and social media, and then go find the money themselves. If they work hard enough, we may accept their gift, but only after we tell them how uncomfortable it makes us feel.
Cassie, I'm going to have to ask you to...
Thank you. Thank you for hearing me.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
but
okay.
we were out of
Thank
time.
you.
That's how it goes. Okay. You have 2 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Kofi, and I'm here to share why I think art is an important tool for learning about American history. Art teaches us about the past and inspires us to have hope for the future. Last year, when we went on a trip through the South, one of the most powerful things was seeing sculptures of enslaved people in chains on ships crossing the Atlantic Ocean. I believe that learning about history through the art is much more powerful than reading things in a book. A lot of what I've learned through the art that I saw taught me things I haven't been taught in school. I hope this sculpture will be put up in Ashland Creek Park, and my class from Hellman School will walk there on field trip and learn from the art like I did on my trip. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony.
It has really inspired me seeing all of the art and
I hope other people can experience it too, because it showed how life actually works.
Thank you.
My name is Aziza and I'm 11. Last summer we went on a Black History tour, and it has truly changed me seeing the beautiful artwork. It's so cool. People can see artwork in so many different ways, and I like looking at it in the lens of Black Lives Matter. I hope that other people do too.
Thank you very much for your testimony today. The next two people forward, please, Jamie Powell and Tony Foster.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Foster. I live in Ashland, Oregon. I've been a resident in Southern Oregon for about 16 years. And I'm also an artist and a musician. And my artist name is Lexor. And so what I wanted to say, what I wanted to convey to everybody is the significance of this art installation and the significance of art in general being in this community, but more specifically this art installation and the meaning that this has. It's not as simple as just art or just an art project. There's a lot of meaning, there's a lot of historical meaning, there's a lot of cultural resource in this project, in this art installation, and I just wanted to place some emphasis on that. In 2019, I facilitated a look at Black history in Oregon, and to all that, to everyone that's familiar with that, you know how it was and how it's been in Oregon, and so there's a huge amount of cultural resource that can be had in Oregon, because like we're here, like Black people live here. I'm not passing through. I've been here for 16 years. I'm going to stay here, and so I see art as being the common ground among cultures, and I can't even explain with words the amount of significance and the amount of significance that this art installation has to this community, of all peoples of this community. And it's a community-led effort, and it's people coming together to create something that is a benefactor for everyone in the community. And so I just wanted to say that, and also want to say that this is a time where culture is changing and shifting, and I would just like our actions and the decisions that we make to be in the direction of the principles behind diversity and equity and inclusion in this community, and change the history of Southern Oregon, change the history of Ashland from where it's been. So and this is one small step that I think is very important and very significant.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Jamie Powell.
Yeah, my name is Jamie Powell, and I'm a resident of Ashland. And I think it's important to, when we talk about equity, diversity, and inclusion, to ask the question, diverse from what? And diverse from what is white supremacy. And so while it's hard to swallow as a white-bodied person that I am racist, it's similar to being an alcoholic or an addict. It's something we have to name in order to heal. And one beautiful thing about the Ashland community is the emphasis on healing. And racism is trauma. And it's not only a trauma that black-bodied people and brown-bodied people have, it's also a trauma that white-bodied people have. And it shows up in our bodies as dominance and arrogance and doubling down when we think that we're right about something. And it takes a lot to take a step back and to listen to black and brown-bodied people. And it's really humbling and it's really scary sometimes. But when we talk about a committee made of mainly black and brown-bodied people, that is actually the medicine that's needed to counter white dominance. And to suggest that the committee needs to be more diverse is just showing a little bit of ignorance on what it takes to truly diversify a community. And what we're asking for is a cultural shift. And art is a significant way to shift a culture. Art shows us what the community values. Art shows us what the community holds precious. And as a white-bodied person, I want to live in a community that holds black and brown-bodied people precious and really invest time and energy into protecting black and brown people in the community, amplifying their voices. And it's not really a matter of trying to diversify by putting more white people in. And I only laugh because it's actually absurd if we take sort of a eagle-eye view on the community. We see the white dominance. And so in that way, the medicine is to actually have committees and affinity groups where white-bodied people can learn. We can learn together about some of the ways that we might learn to listen more and step back. And black and brown-bodied people can gather to have their voices amplified, and we can learn to listen. So that's my hope for this project, and I'm looking forward to the amazing changes that are possible when we learn a new way.
Thank you for your testimony. Next, I'm going to call forward Lisa Ebony and then Micah to speak, and each of you have 2 minutes. Try to be mindful of the time if you would. All right, Lisa Ebony, you're on deck.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Madam Mayor. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely, go right ahead.
So I would like to start by saying I'm a current resident of Ashland. I have lived in Southern Oregon for over 35 years. That means I was raised out here as a mixed child with my white family. Part of what is so significant about this art piece being on the table, period, is that it is specific to, quote, an illumination of the experiences of Black residents in the Valley. I want to point out that the criticism, I was a part of the selection panel. I was one of the 5 people that looked at the 2 finalist art pieces and chose without hesitation and you know, any doubt in my mind, Micah's piece. We are lucky to have such a gifted artist and someone who could express something so tender and controversial the way that he did. As Black residents of this valley who were asked to choose something to represent us, this is what we chose unequivocally. And not only were we given a rubric to try to understand or to take into consideration how it would fit, right? There's codes, there's policies, we understand all of that, and we went over that. Nothing about Micah's piece can't be adjusted to fit all of the city codes, and we like it. So the criticism that not enough white people were involved in picking an art piece meant to illuminate the experience of Black residents in Southern Oregon is similar to me to saying that men should have more of a say in legislating women's bodies. I personally don't take seriously men who try to tell me what I should do with my reproductive rights, the same way I don't really take seriously white people who try to tell me how I should handle or deal with racism, especially in my own town that I've been in for well over 35 years. I think it's important to remember Southern Oregon in general, but certainly Ashland has a history of certainly dismissing and silencing voices of color, period. We were asked specifically to find something that spoke for us, for the Black community out here. We are the Black community, we spoke. So I think it would be great at this point for this the process to continue forward so we can install this piece. And while I find it hilarious, quite frankly, that people are calling it like Black and demonic, and if it were white or any other, this kind of thing, you're welcome to feel that way. I mean, it's ridiculous from where I sit, but I also want to remind people that art has never had the obligation of being pretty and acceptable to everybody. It's meant to convey a sentiment based on the Black voices it's meant to represent. It does. And I think that needs to matter, and it needs to hold weight over people being sad that they don't like the color of it. It's nonsense. I think that's it. I appreciate you listening to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lisa Ebony. Appreciate it. So we got a little bit of a dilemma. I'm going to definitely call Micah forward, but this forum is only supposed to be 15 minutes, and I've already kind of let this go a little bit longer because we're not here to tamp down voices, but we do also have a huge list of business that we have to accomplish tonight. So I'm going to ask those of you who have not yet spoken be on the next speaker. Since we didn't get the form and now we're over 15 minutes, could I ask your forbearance to come back to our next meeting and talk to us about this if you would like? Because this isn't going to be decided tonight. So if you would think about that while I call Micah forward. Micah, you have the floor, 2 minutes if you would, please.
Whew. Thank you so very much. Am I here? Am I heard? Am I good?
You're
okay.
Good.
So I just want to, before anything, first I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you counselors for allowing us the opportunity to speak. Thank you so much to the people in the community who chose to show up today for this, because I feel like it's beautiful. And the one thing I wanted to really illuminate as the artist behind this is to let you know personally that I am not coming from a place of militancy, though some people are. I am not coming from a place of anger, though some people choose to experience that and let it run through them. I am not coming from a place of trying to ram anything through. What I am trying to do is begin conversation, is to actually look at what legitimate community can look like and feel like when community is based in people, the ones who feel like I do and the ones who don't. The ones who have views like I do and the ones who don't, right? Like that's what legitimate community is, and that's what art can do, is build legitimate bridges to actually having conversations. And some of those conversations will be really challenging, right? Some of those conversations won't be easy. In fact, many of the most crucial conversations will not be, and I meant for this piece to be the kind of catalyst that can start and hold the space for those kinds of conversations, to make it so that we can legitimately build bridges, so we can have sustainable relationships, so we can build actual culture. And that's the meaning behind this. That's kind of what I wanted to just give to the council, just in case you hadn't gotten that from the person whose concept this is, which is me. And I know that we have really, really short time, so I'm not going to take too much more other than that, than to just say thank you. I'm coming from a deep, deep place of gratitude that this is even on the table at all. I am profoundly grateful that I can potentially end up being a part of something that could contribute to the culture here in Ashland and in the Valley for my children, my child and her children potentially, and your children, and for the people who are here already. So thanks so much for your time. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for all who showed up. That's it. I'm good.
Thank you very much, Micah. Appreciate your testimony. We have, let's see, 4 people. You just wanted to come up and state your name in a quick sentence? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it, and then we're going to move on with the rest of our business. And I ask the council's forgiveness.
Hi, my name is Faith Cohen. I live in Ashland.
Hi, I'm Katia Carvalhais.
Hello, I'm Jonah Carvalhais.
I'm Andrea Carvalhais. We all live in the same address.
Okay. Well, I truly support this project. I want the city council to approve this because it's a powerful message and it's something that we should all be talking about. And actually, I want to do more than just talking about it, but demonstrating diversity, equity through inclusion, through art. which is in a beautiful way. It's a beautiful piece. I hope you guys really consider, and it's important to me and to others, so thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. We good?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can be good with that.
All right. Thank you for coming. Yeah, just the rules are we get 15 minutes and fill it out in a bit, but we're good. All right. Thank you all for your attendance tonight and your testimony. Appreciate it.